Okay, now where was I? Yeah, he's running around being a fucking idiot, which, you know, is what Jack Sparrow is. But that is the thing that has always annoyed me with these movies. And annoys me even more with this one, because this movie has no other characters from the old franchise in it that are left to evolve. There are other characters from their old franchise in it, obviously. Jeffrey Rush is Barbossa. Gibbs is in this movie. Like, the thing is, say what you want about how annoying Will and Elizabeth became, they at least evolved. The story still focused around them evolving. Jack Sparrow was the same guy at the beginning of the first film as he was at the end of the third one. He literally ends up in the same space. The first movie begins with him coming into port in a fucking sinking dinghy. And he's in a dinghy drinking rum and looking at a map at the end of At World's End. So he has literally come full circle, and that is the way it should have been. But they should not have made another movie where he was the only star. And at least not have done it like they did here. Because, let's see, is there anything I can comment on that's not spoiler related before I go into spoilers? Because I'm going to ask anyone who hasn't seen the movie to turn this off. Let's see, there's nothing about the acting I want to say that is related to the story perspective. Oh yeah, I guess the one thing I should throw out before anyone who doesn't want to hear any story spoilers jumps ship, is the musical score by Hans Zimmer, which is good, but the problem is that pretty much half the music in this, if not more, is just different alterations of the main theme, He's a Pirate. And I really love He's a Pirate, but I don't want that to be the entire score for a movie. In fact, I would have sworn that it wasn't Hans Zimmer's music. It kind of felt like how in the third Spider-Man movie, they used Danny Elfman's music almost like crazily, like they used it overly much because they had replaced the guy and he didn't really know what he was going to do. So like, I'll just do what Danny Elfman did and do it like in different interpretations. But then I was surprised to find out, oh, it really was Hans Zimmer. He actually did do this. But anyway, yeah, the music is kind of weird. Now we're going into story spoilers. So anyone who doesn't want to know, turn off and come back when you've seen the movie. As I said, my main problem, like first, is that it takes 20 minutes for the story to get started. Jack Sparrow is running around in, like, I guess it's London, acting like a total idiot or something. Meets Penelope Cruz, who basically double-crosses him and gets him thrown on a Blackbeard ship with she's first mate, because she's apparently Blackbeard's daughter. Ian McShane is really good as Blackbeard. I gotta say, he's the best addition to this movie. He actually brings some sort of sense of both, like I guess he's supposed to be intimidating, which, as the movie progresses, he kind of fails at that, because he's not really that intimidating. Maybe that's just because at that point, when I guess he was supposed to be started, like, he shows that he can kill anyone, he doesn't really give a shit, and that he can control his ship by waving his sword around. I guess the reason why, I guess I could just argue and say the reason why he's not intimidating to me is because I don't find any of the characters worth caring about, except, say, for two, and I will talk about them in a little while. So anyway, yeah, he's a good character, and I really like the way he portrays Blackbeard, but he loses his intimidation because there's no one worth, like, caring about for him to intimidate, and, yeah, he almost is a little bit over the top sometimes. But then again, this is a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, so it's supposed to be over the top. That's all this franchise does. Jeffrey Rush is back as Barbossa, and he is wonderful, as always. In fact, he's probably the character that has, like, changed the most. My main problem with this entire thing is that Jack Sparrow is our main character, but he's the only character, really the only character in this entire franchise who has not changed at all. I mean, fucking Gibbs has evolved more than Jack Sparrow has. The thing is, when he meets up with Angelica, played by Penelope Cruz, they discuss their past together and how he basically tricked her into leaving. She was a nun, and he was, like, hiding in the convent, and he seduced her to the point where she left the convent for him, and she became a pirate somehow, and then he left her because he obviously is somehow in love with her as much as Jack Sparrow can be in love with anyone but himself. And she's obviously in love with him to some extent, even though I guess the problem with this movie really is that none of the characters are likable, at least none of the pirates, and I guess that is an accurate portrayal, because for some reason people have this love relationship with pirates, and pirates are not lovable characters. They raped and pillaged. That's the entire fucking problem with this franchise, is it's about people that were basically fucking thieves of the ocean. But anyway, so there, that's the thing. Between like Penelope Cruz and Johnny Depp have this, they have this like a relationship, this past relationship, which they hint at trying to elaborate, but they're always so afraid of changing Jack Sparrow because Jack Sparrow's popularity is based on what he's always been. So they don't want to change it. So even Jack, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit now to the end of the movie, he at the they hint that he cares about her. He cares about her to the point where he is willing to kill Blackbeard to save her, which he does. At the end of the movie, he manages to trick Blackbeard to drink. Because basically the Fountain of Youth is not like what you think it is. It turns out once they get there, that Penelope Cruz already knows, is that it's not just like you would think, like the cup of life, like the goblet, the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones, where all you have to do is like drink the water and everything will be fine. No, someone has to be on the other end of it. It's not really the Fountain of Youth as much as the fountain of transferring years. So you have to have someone who is like, you know, who drinks the water, someone who drinks from a chalice with a mermaid's tear in it, and someone who drinks from a chalice without a mermaid's tear in it. The one with the mermaid's tear gets the life from the person who doesn't have the mermaid's tear in their glass. So basically it's a big fucking evil act of stealing other people's years. And what's problematic about this is that Jack Sparrow shows at the end of this movie that he is willing to even betray Penelope Cruz's own wish of giving her own life for her father's life. Because Jack Sparrow obviously, you know, he just like the audience sees that Blackbeard's an asshole, he's evil, and that you shouldn't give your life to him because he's a douchebag. But even though he's willing to like save Penelope Cruz time and time again, at the end of the movie he actually does admit that he loves her and then runs away, because just like the fucking screenwriters and the directors and everyone involved with this movie, they're afraid to change Jack's character because they're afraid that if they change him, people aren't going to like him as much. And you know what? The wide majority of people would probably have a problem with them changing him. I guess I'm just not one of them because I hate Jack Sparrow to begin with. I'd love to see him evolve because that would make him interesting. Now he's just, and I hate to fucking say this, but another pun, he's treading water. Yes, I said he's treading water. So yeah, Jack Sparrow, he needs to evolve. Penelope Cruz's Angelica is probably the most interesting, or at least not interesting, but most layered character in this movie. She plays the daughter of Blackbeard, who is apparently willing to, as the ex-nun, she really cares about only one thing, basically, and that's, okay, two things. One, her father's immortal soul, and two, spending more time with her father in general. She freely admits to Jack that she's sailing to the Fountain of Youth, not for her own gain, but so her father can have more time, so that first he can repent for whatever evil he's done previously, and so that she can have more time with him, because she's never had a father. It's like, look, Penelope Cruz, I'm telling you, if you, I mean, I don't have a father. I never had a father. I'm not going to go, you know, if my father came walking into my life, I wouldn't be like, I'm going to kill someone else so that my father can spend more time with me and we can go play baseball in the park. Fucking bitch. Yeah. I don't know. Her character is interesting, as I said. She has this whole religious thing going on, but there's another character in the movie that also has a religious thing down, and he's far better, he's far simpler, but far more effective with it. Because she breaks this rule herself so many times by having, by being, obviously being freely capable of killing someone to save her father and giving him more years. She's also completely comfortable with the thought of like trying to somehow let her father do what her father is doing, as long as there's always hope for repenting in the end. She's basically so blinded at the end of the movie. I hate her more than I hate Jack, because there's a point at the end of the movie where she straight up says that she's going to try and make Jack drink from one of these chalices and give his gears to her father. So even though she loves Jack, she's freely willing to kill him for her father. Yeah, that's... I need to cut this off again, because now my camera's dying, so I need to get the power cord in and, I guess, start another video. Be back, and I'll talk about the other new characters and the revisiting of the old characters, and then a final story, like, summary, and then I'll be done, I swear.